What the hex is going on, ladies and gentlemen?
What the hex is you guys talking about? Unless you want to tell us what your signs are.
pDai's chart, it goes to die. It's die versus die. So my question is this. Wait, let me ask the whole question.
Somebody's got a hot mic.
Question, dude.
Dude,
Let me ask
Gary,
the whole fucking
yourself.
question. Let me ask the whole question.
Your own echo.
Let me ask the whole question.
Gary,
Let me ask the whole.
Ooh, man, y'all soft, man. Y'all got shooken up that easy. Hey, we good over here, dog. Pulsechain till I die. You don't know? Tell him.
Hot was right.
Okay, I know the word maxi's kind of rough, right? But a lot of us are kind of like hex maxis, right? Listen, I could be tolerant, man. You guys do whatever you want to do, right? Well, I'm like, everything I learned from Richard Hart, right, about crypto worked. And every time I don't follow that, it fails, right? So, and then but I keep doing it, right? So, because I got to fail, I got to have some sort of experiment like that, you know?
Anybody else that want drama, come see us, man. Come right here, man. We be right out here. If you want drama with us, we right here, son.
Whoa.
Never stop. The war's on 24/7. Make no mistakes about it. We ready for this. We've been doing this. Niggas know. Check the track record. What, nigga?
When Bob's.
It's just safer to assume things are going to suck. So anytime anyone has ever targeted hexagons with any type of coin, the hexagons have always gotten murdered. Hex HXY business, or these, hourglass games, or just all garbage. Like, people target hexagons with crap that harms them. And I just don't, can you imagine how much trash is going to come out when Pulsechain comes out? There's going to be a million rug pulls and scams and garbage and trash that gets launched on it. Just like there was on Ethereum, just like there was on BSC. So I only say nice things about stuff I 100% know is good. Period. So, oh, you have an idea? All right, where's the code? Where's the audits? Where's the no admin keys? Show me. And I don't have time to do that. And usually all of those things they don't have. They usually just suck in every way. So, I see these meme coins targeting hexagons, and I'm just like, okay, so they could either buy the hex ticker symbol and make the hex price go up, or they could buy whatever this bullshit is that you made. It's not the hex ticker symbol. I'm leaning towards the hex ticker symbol that we know is awesome. Very simple for me.
Good morning, Vietnam.
What the hex is the coughing through the intro?
We play you the best in rock and roll music from Mekong to Da 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 Nang. Rest in peace to Robin
It's
Williams.
just the restream shit.
Yeah. We had a hot mic incident during the intro. We had two, matter of fact. Shout out to Gary.
Any kind of heat in this ice cold market is welcome.
Yes,
including a hot mic. Yes.
There
Look.
is
There's what?
there is always something happening on Pulsechain. It's great. I love it.
We have the
The
best
Peter's almost
community.
dead.
Chart doesn't go up.
Actually, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to reintroduce myself and my colleague over here. I will forever now be known as P. Appa Boner, and this is P. Eater over here.
P Eater, yes.
Yes, we are the copies on Pulsechain,
Yes.
and we tend
we're
to have
going
an
to a
inflation
dollar.
bias. Yes. we're both exploited and always inflating. So there you go. Welcome, Chrispyman, back to the show for some more abuse.
It's the return of the Chrispyman.
Crunchy.
You know, I felt really bad for you watching the Game Theory gang, which has been rebranded into the Kareem Show as of late. So you could barely get a word in. So,
yeah, man.
You know, and we love Kareem. It's not a jab, but that was like weird.
It's a jab because we love Kareem.
Yeah.
He's the pork copy, though. So.
He had all kinds of batteries in his back. Like the Duracell rabbit.
Energizer.
The Energizer, yes. Is that not Duracell?
No. The Duracell bunny. Come on.
That one.
Energizer.
Hey, Matty Lambo in chat. 1 hex is equal to 1 hex. That's good news.
Matty Lambo has figured out that my background is not real. It's the forked copy of Tokyo.
You're still in Tokyo.
I'm still in Tokyo in my heart. I'm still in Tokyo.
Well, thanks for tuning in, you guys. We're still on the daylight savings shizzle here in Europe. And next week, we have caught up. So next week for the European guys will be an hour later, 9 p.m. CET. Peter, take notes. Because you need to run the show next week. I'm traveling.
Well, hopefully I'm not sick anymore.
Oh, yeah. Until then, you'll be... What is that? Long COVID you're having? Or what is that?
No, it's... pDai people make me sick.
Oh, I said... I said the C word.
Now we're banned.
Now we're banned. It's like MetaMask. Anyway, we got Hex on air first in the chat. Raimondo. Waiting patiently. That's the spirit, you guys.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Raymano Ray.
Raymano Ray.
Delayed regurgitation.
That's what we should be doing.
Making 3.6%.
I like salad.
Okay, Angry Salad Man, loyal viewer of the show. Agenda 69 checking us out from Scotland on the Twitch. So we get Twitch viewers as well.
Did I mention I like scotch?
Scottish whiskey. Nice. Ted Nelson in the house. Tam checking in.
Damn.
Yeah, she's always around. She's always around. We need to get her on the show.
Do you like scotch, Chrispyman? Do you like scotch? Really like scotch?
Yeah,
I like scotch a lot, but it's become too expensive with the imports, so I don't buy it.
Well, okay, man. So check this out. Just before you complete your welcoming of the chat, DJ, or are you
sort
done?
of done? But we got
sort of done. Okay.
Watching. Smash the likes. Let's go.
So you know what? The silliness that I first of all, I've got space poisoning because I've been on spaces for like 6.5 days straight.
Right.
Were you arguing with yourself or what?
No, not like Gary. No.
What
I argue with myself in the mirror like a real man. But no. The whole thing is one of these boneheads was.
Wait, let me finish. Let me finish.
Please,
let me finish the question.
Please,
Sorry.
Oh yeah. The Gary, yes,
the Gary thing.
But no. So Crispy, the one of these kids, I'm not going to name names. Dylan Hexastani, was bragging that he's really turned on to this refined, beautiful tasting whiskey from Japan, Nika whiskey.
Oh yes, I caught that.
Yeah. So you caught that part, right?
Yeah.
I was just like biting my lip because when I was in university, that's the only one that I could afford in Tokyo because you can $20 for. I'm not joking. 3 gallons. For $20,
all right, let's go.
Yeah, hey, that's what we call swill. Yes.
Bring it home, put it in the barrel.
But is
let
that
it-
like
let it-
sake that you can drink like water, and then the next morning you think you're
No, no. It's blended whiskey, and it's absolutely crap. However, Suntory did, Suntory does make actually the best blended whiskey on the face of the earth.
Right.
But you have to know, which one that is, and it ain't Nika. It doesn't come in a plastic vat. It comes in an actual glass
Plastic bag in
decanter.
a box.
Yeah. Yes. So I'll hook you up next time you're around, Crispy. I'm going to Tokyo at some point in the future if I can scrape together something to buy a plane ticket. Maybe
With these prices,
no. But I can bring back a whole bunch of them and sell them on the street. It's like, hey,
We should just go to Dublin. We'll go.
Oh, there you go.
And we'll just tour the distilleries there. That is
That
not
sounds
Scotch. That's not Scotch, by the way. But yeah.
Yeah,
It's Irish. But there is
So
the
you-
Guinness brewery in Dublin. It's also
Whiskey.
nice. Dark beer. I'm down with that. And Hennessy. Like Hennessy.
You're such a Guinness. It's good.
So, Crispy, you've been streaming with the head honchos right now of the pDai narrative with Maddie and with your friend Somi on Tuesday. What did you learn firsthand?
What did I learn firsthand? Well, Sami's not giving up on pDai.
He's not giving up.
Not much.
I mean, he's $500,000 in, right?
I don't know. He
The
didn't say.
nipples stay pegged.
Yeah, but Crispy, man, this is why we want to hear from you, because we couldn't hear from you on Game Theory Games so much. We know that your mind is mega. So while Richard was real, what I got from this is Richard is real time serving Somi with the absolute undeniable truth about where he stands about everything in so many tweets. Somi is digesting it real time. His face drags down, and then the spin starts to take over, and he starts to re-justify that, if Richard cares this much to tweet about something he hates, which he's never done before, ergo, he must really be behind it. What was it like being on that stream? And can you tell DJ, who didn't even watch that part, can you tell him a play-by-play as to what went down?
I'm not sure I can do a play-by-play. I wasn't paying attention much.
What are the salient points?
It was kind of like having you ever get like a nail or something stuck under your fingernail and it gets kind of driven in there. It was kind of like that kind of conversation.
The CIA torture
tactic. Yeah, it was just not good. Just talking about it causes people to pay attention to it and buy it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's a problem. At the same time,
but apparently you must support pDai because we want to talk about it, right? So I'm poking at you.
Can you share my screen, DJ, please?
People have to be adults when we talk about this stuff and just listen to some of the things said. Not necessarily agree, but just listen.
So, guys, if the 4 million didn't leave the chain, maybe the prices would be something like this. Something like this. So, congratulations to everyone.
I don't think you can conclude that 100%, but I understand.
It's very, very rough mental gymnastics. I do here, but the other guys do something worse.
But there's a margin of selling on the way to that point.
Yeah, of course. But
that's the thing that
maybe just maybe I'm saying like it's let's say the 4 million that went to Vietnam would be back. So, and some people say
was it 20? Was it 27 million? Was it 4 million? Was
I'm
it
hearing 30.
30.
Was East Europe? Is it 30? Who the hell knows? I don't even know now.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so much going on. Yeah,
was it my computer? Was it?
Well, listen, it's DeFi, and we know the people.
Wicked Witch of Hanoi.
But yeah, let's
I don't know the
20
pronoun,
million. So, goddamn.
But is that a concern? Like, if this leak is not being stopped, that is what is on my mind all the time that I can't get my head around. Is this a threat to Hex and to the whole Pulsechain thing, because there is this story about burned liquidity things that, you know, as long as there's always a Hex, pDai will always have liquidity.
It's not the problem.
Or
People buying
Pulse.
is the problem.
So here's
how is that connected?
Here's what I said. I think I came out in the show, and I'll just repeat the opinion. The immediate corrective action is for people not to buy pDai, and for people providing liquidity to remove the liquidity, and then that stops. I mean, it doesn't stop all the loss, but stops much of it, right? Because you can only draw down based on the liquidity that's there. But that isn't the case. There's hundreds of people, maybe thousands, that still believe in the narrative, and they're still buying, and they're still removing, or they're still not removing. And so this is DeFi. They can do that if they want.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, I don't. Maybe I don't agree. Maybe I do agree. It doesn't matter. But they can still do it. So all we can do is try to convince them. But I don't think calling them names is useful. You know, I'm not saying you're doing that. I'm saying just like in general, just calling them names. Maybe that is the only way to get through. I don't know, but it was curious to see Richard, posting as we're streaming, answering the issue there. And I don't know any more about what's happening with pDai than I did before. You know, I see the charts, I see the liquidity, I see the volume. That, I mean, all the rest of the stuff is you tell me one thing. Peter says a bunch of stuff just now. I don't know if he's right.
Now we know how minting,
because I can't verify it.
How minting goes. There are people. Alex has successfully recreated the problem. I mean, we know what's going on. People just do this, and some is doing this like la 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 la. That's all people are doing.
I mean, one theory is that there's being minted, it's dumped, and then dumped for actual bridged in DAI, and then bridged out to Ethereum.
Yes, that's what's happening.
Yes. And Richard confirmed that in his tweets.
Yeah. I think that was the strongest point, the strongest thing we saw last week is that him coming out, Richard, and specifically addressing this and giving direction. And you noticed that was an inflection point for a lot of people because, listen, we've all been in this. Well, not everybody, but a lot of us have been here for a long time. We know that this stuff is tricky, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have known not to wait until after big payday, right? I would have known to have stakes that were going to be long over big payday. I mean, I would have known, hey, dummy, I probably shouldn't have been staked at the top during 21. And I probably would have known about 2 months ago not to be staking out Quattro Cinco if I was concerned with not getting rewards, right? So a whole bunch of things change really quick. And the narrative changes really quick. And it confuses people because we don't know which one to believe, you know? And I think that's a real thing. For people that are listening, right? It's confusing. You don't know when the hand of God is doing something or isn't.
I mean, everyone knew pDai is bullshit. Everyone, every single one knew.
No, they did not. They did not. Not everybody.
There was some kind of mental gymnastics going on with some on-chain proof. Many people knew. I mean, some he knew, but he just went in all balls deep, and now he cannot admit he's wrong. It's simple
I agree with Peter, and to your point where you said not everyone knew. I think the people that didn't know and increasingly don't know are fresh onboards that are being recruited simply to the narrative of pDai.
No one is getting recruited.
Yes, they are, Peter.
There is no inflow
right
money
now
through.
No. There just happens to be an equal outflow, Peter. There is a circulation right now, and it's all just pulling the string. It's like opening up the gate, seeping out the liquidity, and then closing it and letting it reaccumulate by retards coming. Oh, sorry. Petards coming back. I'm sorry that people coming back in and putting their money into the actual token to perpetuate this thing. And the guy that's doing this is laughing all the way to the bank because we
I
are
would
all
like to be
chimpanzees.
that guy. Jesus.
Yeah, me too.
He's my second favorite guy after Richard, like the exploiter.
Yeah,
perfect.
Well, we have the Vietnamese exploit,
Ding
and
dong, ding
now,
dong.
as of yesterday, we have this Mariah guy doing something similar with
Mariah.
Maria.
with the
I
Atropa.
just met a girl named
and the-
Mariah.
Alan.
The faggot midget.
in East LA.
What happened?
And minting from the treasury on a Tropa contract, doing the same thing and selling live on YouTube. You can watch him do it for bridged in actual Ethereum and stables and shit.
Nice.
So
Yeah. I think I even saw.
That's what scammers do.
And here's the thing, me, for 2 years, we were poor. We walked to school in the snow. For 2 years, I've been bad. They call me the main pDai hater on the X.
DJ was right.
For 2 years, and I never claimed to be a blockchain expert. You on here, you are much more. I play the fucking music, but I can watch people and I see their behavior. And I was calling out what I saw, how they pushed it on X each time there were green candles, combined with the decentralized me narrative videos with the soothing music in the background that lures you in. Oh, I'm so close to I feel like I'm so close to Richard.
That was terrible.
All this shit, I called that out. I didn't say your contract is broken, or I said you guys are acting like pump and dumpers. And sure enough, each time red candles, they were totally silent. And 3 months later, they started again the fresh push. Yeah. And some influences from the community mixed in with that. I got blocked by these people. I serious abuse, verbal abuse on the X.
Poor little DJ.
And now, after 2 years, Richard confirms also on a technical level all this shit that I had a hunch about.
Do you feel vindicated, DJ?
I feel so vindicated with all this thing. But what do we do with this? So this saying nobody knew, I'm not really buying that, because there have been warnings and I have not been the only one.
Well, who said nobody knew?
Others did it more on a technical level. I did it purely on behavior. Scammers. And we see the scam right now.
I mean, DJ,
and it's draining liquidity from the chain, which is a concern for all of us. Possibly, that's what I'm trying to figure out, even if we're not even invested in pDai. But we're in Pulsechain, and it's draining money from Pulsechain.
Yes. DJ, it was obvious. It's that simple.
If you get what I'm trying to say. And I'm not fishing for an applause or nothing. That's not what comes by me. Not at all. But it's
Crispy, you will be heard. The chair recognizes the man from Virginia. Crispy, go ahead. You have 2 minutes.
2 minutes for what? All I was going to say is, you listen. A lot of people had a lot of opinions about this the whole time, right? So some people thought one way and think the other way. Some switch sides. The situation is still, as much as incredible as you might find it, the situation is still there are believers, right? And the only way to really starve this out, if that's your aim, is to not engage, right? And disengage. But you can't control what people are going to do with their own money. So it's they're doing that, and a lot of so when you see it going up over the next few days or whatever, if that happens, if that's destined to happen, it's because people are putting money into it, and they're doing it.
But then call it what it is. I'm fine with calling it just speculation. Be it like Bitcoin. We're pumping it all on the green candles, but that's not how it was portrayed. It was portrayed with all this stuff. Richard is behind it, and Richard will gonna peg it, and that by people with influence in the community, thousands of who am I with 4,000 followers on Twitter? Like people with the tens and 20s.
You're pretty solid,
and that's not right.
DJ KTP
And Richard tweeted last
it.
night he's about the justice.
Yeah.
Why aren't we all like that?
I don't know, because scammers have charisma and we don't. and DJ Katie said it in the best way she could in her last tweet, like the God damn it, what's the word? The history of exploiting Hexicans spans for I don't know how many years, 5?
Yeah, 5 years.
So anything new, there is nothing worked. There was no third party that worked ever. All was a scam. Everything we can argue about Hedron and EchoSat maybe, but it's shit. Okay, and everything was a scam. So what are the chances this gonna be a scam? Well, pretty fucking high. It's that easy. You either buy or push core coins, or you are just a fucking retard pushing. That's it. It's that easy. Richard said it in the intro.
Man with the most.
But Maddie saw me be roots in them. They are smart people.
Really?
Yeah, B Roots has like a law degree or something. We just learned. But what are they seeing that we're not seeing, that I have not seen for 2 years?
They have seen
an opportunity to get to the bag.
Yes.
To exploit.
And they meticulously planned it.
Well, they
for
just
years
went on with the
putting
narrative.
stuff in here and there.
And now every single one of them, I think, is underwater. Because pDai, it's down by 98%, and it's just going down even more.
It's a descending triangle. I think it
fell off its parabola.
Yeah.
And it's done. It's over. So,
well, it's not over until the locked liquidity is miraculously, evaporated.
It's over. I can see it on the chart.
But okay, so wait, Crispy, I got a question. If we can never, root it out, we can never solve the problem. How can we live with it? How can we survive with it? Doing what it's doing, people believing what they believe, until we let them realize that they've got nothing. Price-wise is obviously not stimulating anything to leave it. So if the belief is you can't separate it from the devout belief in this thing cannot be separated in any way from the chain, how does the chain survive and thrive?
I would think that you stop talking about it and stop encouraging people to look into it.
Okay.
Right.
So then this will be the last podcast where we talk about it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm right. You guys tell me. What do you think? I mean, listen, I can go to 2, 3, 5 chats that I'm in right now, and there's whole groups of people that are buying the bottom right now. They're not on the same page, right? So
yeah.
And I'm in the middle still, because I'll tell you, I like to think about a lot of different things. I don't know what's going to happen, right? I heard Richard, though. I had a good talk with, because you saw our solid index thing last week. So I had a good talk with Tiago, solid Hex. And we kind of, I listened to him and his opinion and his thoughts on it. It took a while for him to finally say, okay, I'm listening to Richard, because once Richard came out and started putting the information out, because even up to that point,
who else should we listen to?
Way too much info. Yeah, but come on, he wasn't clear early. He was not
until this week.
I mean,
no.
just like you, we'll never.
In the last 3 years, he was like minimum vague right now in those 28 tweets that he made or whatever that he ever was in the last 3 or 4 years. That I have to give him props for that, because god damn.
Being vague?
No,
he was minimally vague as he could, Am I
Oh
saying
yeah,
it right?
I forget who asked him to actually come out and say something, and then he did
Hmm.
over the weekend or something. It was very, very specific and clear.
Yeah, we
I
did
am
on
not.
this show.
I am not.
I called him a retard.
Yes, we did on
edgy.
this show.
So, Crispy, what are the bullet points about Richard's message through all those tweets that you read that are not vague at all? What are the points that everyone should know?
Well, here's a little bit of copium for those who are believing in the conspiracy side of it. Right now, he's given us very clear direction that now is not the time to be in pDai. However you want to interpret that,
Super clear.
that was really clear. Right. So if you want to interpret that as you should never be in it, interpret it that way. If you want to interpret it that now is just the wrong time, interpret it that way. I mean, there's so many narratives.
Don't say that, Crispy, please. No.
No, I'm not trying to get people going, Peter. But I mean, he was really clear that he is not behind it and that people have been lying. Right. I mean, those were two
That
things.
is the whole narrative, that he's behind it, and now he says he's not, and people are like, "What? That's not true. He's behind it."
But at the same time, he's also not that panicked about it. Like he's like, it's 400K liquidity coin. It's like whatever. Yeah. I'm concerned about it because I'm thinking it has more implications, which we also see in the price of the core coins at the moment.
You just let it die off, man.
Yeah, just let it die.
I mean, it's 10,000 D chess, right? So.
But just to finish on the fixing it attempt, so there was
that's another bullshit.
Yeah, because they always said that you need 48,000 maker to call the emergency shutdown, if I have this right, and there is only 41 or 42 circulating from the fork in user hands. But then somebody yesterday found a wallet that holds actually enough maker, and that's the tweet I have here. It holds 240,000 maker, but that's the maker contract address, which is in control by the original maker team on Ethereum. And somebody reached out to them, like I think Ash, also one of our viewers, he was on the X reach. It was in their chats, in their support chats. And they said they have no interest in fixing anything on Pulsechain. And to be fair, I understand. Like, they're probably not happy about the fork in the first place. And now it's all gone to shreds. So they were like, done told you, we're not coming to fix your thing.
Why should they?
So that's why I'm thinking any fix attempt in the traditional sense with working and balancing the depth and all this stuff that is being spewed about is not possible.
Fast Abdul is correcting you in the chat. Let's bring that up.
I'm always happy to be
corrected.
Especially
by
150, even more than
Stop lying, DJ, okay? Let's say it that way.
You're the extractor.
I'm the scammer. Yeah. Good morning, Vietnam.
And also Fast Abdul also points out it's not a wallet, it's a contract. It's true. Yes. People are calling it a wallet and spreading the FUD, or not the FUD, the hopium, or whatever the hell you call it. Misinformation. So by the way, I loved Fast Abdul's position, calm, cool, collected, when he was with his rapier wit taking on Somi in a debate.
Yeah, that was probably the best. Couldn't get a word in.
Yes, but he stood his ground and he made himself. He was articulate, and even though Somi started to bend and crack in everything, he went back to my nipples are pegged. My nipples stay pegged. Everyone pegged with nipples, I believe. I would, if you don't like it, sell it. I'm buying. But anyway,
there's tape for that.
Yeah.
For the nipples.
Somebody needs to take a vacation in the Outback, I think.
Yeah. But Fast Abdul, hats off to you.
Yes. And Fast Abdul is.
Oh, what a bullet he dodged in that he pivoted to ink printing. Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can
you imagine?
The right moment.
That was good. That was good timing there. Fast.
Good timing. Yeah. And he's Canadian. I've got something about the.
Yeah, you wouldn't have expected that, I guess.
Check this shit out.
Oh, okay.
So there is some future PTSD. waiting.
Oh,
for
I'm not sharing. Hold on. Ah,
You are
because Peter's sharing now.
Yeah,
This damn restream. Doing my
What?
head in.
What about it? I love it. I love the fact that it locks me out all the time.
You love restream.
Love it.
Okay, let's go.
I love.
Hi, Sandy.
They don't give any. They give
Oh,
us nothing.
Sandy's
And
back.
they are
Peter,
the
you're
worst
contagious. You
people to
can't do any
negotiate
kissing
with
today.
of everybody.
Hey,
They're
Sandy.
the worst.
USMCA, you finally got them around the edge on
Sandy
that, though.
Beach.
I got them there, and USMCA is good, but they cheat. You know, an agreement's good, but they cheat. And Mexico cheats also.
But China cheated on your...
Canada doesn't pay for military. They don't give any. They give us nothing. And they are the worst people to...
Why are we watching the greatest president ever?
Because he says Canadians are the worst people, but nobody caught that. Okay.
Well,
I don't know that anybody believes that, do they? I mean,
no, there's worse people like Slovakians.
Yes, we have a gay closeted gay president.
Nice.
Before we had Stifler's mom as a president.
Stifler's mom is hot.
Yeah.
She's a MILF.
Stifler's mom.
Yep. Yeah.
What happened?
So all we can work out
I gotta go to
is
Google.
that we gotta let it die. It has the liquidity, as Richard is saying. People should stop buying it. People,
Yeah.
yeah, it has to die off, and has to die off quick. Because it's draining every day.
But, yeah.
Because you can only mint so much, I think. Like you can mint 2 million at a time or something. And if the price is low, if there's no liquidity, if it's crazy slippage, then they can hardly get anything out if they continue to do it, right?
But the exploiter can always prop it up with his own pools and make it look like there's more liquidity, and then lures more people in. The narrative perpetuates. Then he is able to get more people to use as his exit liquidity.
It should have never gotten this big.
Great.
Am I framing that correctly and precisely, Crispy?
Yes, I don't know. I'm reading the chat. I'm laughing because Grandpa Pulse is like, I'm buying.
Good. Glad we convinced you. Glad we convinced you. Yeah.
Which is the whole reason we could be careful. Maybe I missed something else, right? Maybe I missed something else.
I
But
think
that was the thing I was accusing Richard of. Like he should just end it in the roots, because now the fanatics, Jesus Christ, they don't believe him.
you can't stop it, man.
Wow.
It's too big of an idea.
Yeah, you can't stop an idea. That's very true.
You know, okay, can I shift gears for just a second? I was in a yes, thank you.
Yeah, we need to get to the rabbi story.
Rabbi, please.
Rabbi Jacob.
What the fuck happened, by the way?
By the way, I was in a space with Eric Wall, who came out of his cave.
Great guy.
Hanging upside down. Came in. I'm convinced of two things. Number one, from Eric Wall's analogies that harken back to the Old Testament, and the fact that he misinterpreted that there would be worshipers down at the foot of Mount Sinai before Moses comes back down with the Testament, the laws, right, the commandments. And he finds that all the people have lost their way. Eric Wall thinks that they were worshiping a golden goat, and he said it many times. It is golden calf, and almost every child in the Western world knows that it's a golden calf. If Eric Wall can be this fallible on such a majorly distributed and understood detail, then I now believe that he is a very close friend of Richard Hart. And through his constant trolling of our chain, of our stuff, calling us infinite retards, I will tell you, most concentrated, perfect, extruded retardation, I think is what he calls us, right? So basically, if that's where he's at with his inconsistencies or lack of understanding of things, he's just a shill for our chain. He's just the biggest proponent of our ecosystem. He really is. Every time he comes out as the bad guy, he's the bad guy who's passively, like Somi, is passively shilling something. Eric Wall is the same coin, different side as Somi. He's comes in as the guy to hate, but we love to hate him because he's actually for us. And I don't care what he says. I believe that 110% now that I've heard him come out at our darkest hour for him to come and start saying these things. He's really propping us up. He's saying bad things, but he means good. So just remember that. He's Richard's
I don't
good
know
buddy.
what extruded means, but
Extruded means like when you
don't tell it. I don't want to know. Okay.
Okay, let me give you an example. Peter, when you take
you're
a shit,
missing one thing.
when you take a shit,
Eric
your shit
Wall is better
extruded
than
through your
you.
sphincter,
Okay.
Extruded.
It comes through a small hole, like a big shit coming through a little sphincter. There you go.
Okay.
A tube is extruded.
I didn't want to know, but I know now.
Now you know. So now we know. There are germs, and when you lick doorknobs, you end up sick like you. So there you go.
I was licking.
Hey, Papa, how do they put sprinkles on donuts?
How do they put sprinkles on donuts?
It's a good question for Alpha
carefully.
Music.
Very carefully. Next question.
Next question.
How does a dragon go through the wall?
What?
He takes.
I don't know,
door.
Peter.
God damn, that's very deep.
Congratulations. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop lollipop?
356.
Bottom or top?
No. You start with the stick.
Nice. What car do sheep like to drive?
BMW.
The Lambo.
The Lambo.
So it would be time for TA with Toby before the quality of the stream.
This is the
gets
second
any
strike
worse.
for Toby if he's not here, and we will be moving back to my proper time zone if he does one more no-show.
Yes.
Then he's what? He's a
until he shows up, we have.
I saw him in the chat, so he knows we're on.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. He's on. So this is the big story. Rabies.
So what? The
rabies.
The rabies.
The rabies has the rabies.
I have a theory. They want the Pulsechain community to give them money so they can still support it.
Maybe.
How
There's
do
another
they make money
somebody's
anyways?
paid them off.
Because people are saying they're not making any money with this. How are they being? How does this work as a business?
There's like 20 other chains on there that
Because
don't
it's
give
free
them money
software,
either.
right?
Yeah. But there is one theory, cutting across the grain. Hextrovert Ty was the one to bring it up. He says that he believes somebody has specifically given them money to delist us. So
Hey, Toby.
Yeah,
Let's
I heard
eat
that.
about TA for
Is this-
6 hours.
I thought Toby was coming on.
What the
Yeah.
fuck?
I'm
All
even
right.
wearing
Charles Hoskinson is
Toby's.
here.
I'm even wearing Toby's T-shirt today.
Right.
I was at a 6 o'clock meeting this week.
Oh yeah, the hex shirt.
The old,
Yes,
the
sir.
OG Hex shirt, because we need to look at your measured moves.
Ooh,
on
dude.
the channel.
I'm like a fucking broken robot. Is what the
in a
fucking measure
segment,
moves this guy
DJ,
are.
in a segment we lovingly call
Did we do this?
I gotta do this.
We're frozen.
Shout out to
Go, Toby. Get the
This is
charts up.
fucking screen
Let's
grab,
go.
everybody.
Let's go.
Hey, Papa, no pushing me today. I'm angry. Okay, I'm angry,
Why angry?
and here's the deal. All right, and I'm
angry too. I want to just tell you that.
okay. Well, Crispy, I love you, bro, and it's like, and I'm sorry, but this is a little directed at you. But it's just because you are going to be used as an example of what I think we all need to do different. I am the king of being pragmatic. I get it. I get about, I'm all about the middle path. Try not to upset people because
You're a pussy.
no. Because if you draw a hard line in the sand, then
rough.
typically you have no chance of convincing the other side of fuck all, right? You have no chance of convincing the other side of anything, right? If you tell people, like when the presidential elections were going on, if you just immediately start a conversation with like Kamala and Biden are fucking retards, those people are not going to listen to whatever you have to say about Trump that might make sense to them. It's just not going to happen, right? So I'm all about being pragmatic, being respectful to both sides of an argument, and what have you. However, and the thing that got me upset, like while I was showering, which should relax me, right? I'm showering. I'm
I hope
listening.
you're using that body wash. Yeah. Good.
I was using my loofah on all the good places, and I only caught like the last 15 minutes. So maybe, God bless you, Crispy. You know, I need to just qualify that maybe you were saying some things in the beginning that were that would have tempered this. But since I just heard that little segment, I feel like, hey, we need to all stop equivocating. It's like, you know, I get what you're saying is like, you know, we need to stop talking about it. You're absolutely right. But in the same breath, we can't say, but we don't know which way it could go.
Yeah, don't take me to the woodshed too hard.
I'm not. I mean, I'm just saying it's not you. It's the point you were making that got me upset. Because I love you, dude.
When I was invited, I told you, I'm not taking it personally. When I was invited, nobody said we were talking about pDai, and then I got on. We were talking.
Oh, you got bummed. Okay, all right.
You got baited, man.
The first thing is, so what do you think about pDai? And maybe you guys can go back and recall what I said. Where I said, you know, that talking about it about it is going to draw attention to it.
Right. Exactly.
It's a bushwhack.
Right. It's like Richard said, once upon a time.
Let me go the other direction with you.
Sure.
Let's do this, right? Dude, I love all you guys. I even like Peter.
I
really have, all I have are a whole bunch of these people that are telling me it's good, and a whole bunch of these people telling me it's bad.
Yes, we all do.
And I have no idea who the hell. I mean, you guys are going to say, "Well, you're stupid."
Come on now,
but I have no.
Again. Hold on. It's like, what's your word?
I'm telling you, if you're going to put me on the spot to talk about it, I don't know. Personally, I don't know.
So you think that there's a chance that Maker comes and fixes this? Because that's the only way it gets fixed.
Aggressive, Toby.
I'm just saying, it's like we need to make a stand. We have to have some sort of line in the sand. We do not trust. We've watched Maddie make tokens and talk about every fucking bullshit thing under the sun. We've watched everybody fall by the wayside and fall away from Richard's principles of don't talk about other tokens. Why? Because it gets people wrecked. The path of least wreckness. We've all fucking done it to varying degrees. And some of the best of us have fucking fallen from grace, in my opinion, and have led to where we are now. And that is a point where I'm like, fuck this. We need to make a stand. And yes, I just put a post up about how you can block pDai from your feed. You can mute words. I did it. It's great. I don't have to listen to any of the fucking nonsense anymore. And then when I do post anything about it, if someone comes in telling me like how retarded I am or it's going to make it, I block them. I don't want to hear it. And I don't want my followers to see it. So if people that I'm following are posting it, like remember how Richard used to say this? The reason I'm unfollowing you motherfuckers is because your shit gets shown to my followers. So if we're going to make a hard line in the sand and my point is this, Crispy, and this is not all aimed at you, bro. It's just in general, the whole thing is just come to a head for me. Here's the deal. We can always pivot later. We can always say, oh, you know, if things change and magically somehow this you know, there's something comes out of the ashes, I would rather be an asshole now and ask for forgiveness later and say, hey, you know what? I guess there was some reason to hang on to some of this shit. Because everybody here has probably got bags. I had bags. I dumped mine. All of it. Ethically.
I get it.
For an ethical reason, I'm just like, fuck this shit. I'm like, I can't continue to support this on any level. On any level. Because I believe what Richard is saying, what Alex from Hedron is saying, what the smartest and most honorable in our community are saying. And it's frustrating to me when there's people like you that I have a tremendous amount of trust and respect for that won't draw the line.
It's not up to me to draw the line to tell people what they can do with their money.
Of course not. But people are
let me go. You know, listen, this has devolved into all sorts of stupid shit because there's plenty of stupid shit.
Because Toby showed up.
But no. But
I
agree with
you. I
mean,
I got triggered. I was on with Maddie the other night, and he started holding up, just like you just did, holding up Alex as the model, right? And you're talking about Richard and whatnot. Dude, if these guys knew so much about this, which apparently they did for so long, why let it go on? Now, I'm not saying that's justification, but why let it go on? And then all of a sudden, thank God we heard from you guys. You know, it's been months and months. They had years at this point.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it
2 years.
Crispy,
Yes.
Don't hold it up like, oh, now you have it. And this, I mean, so I feel a little bit.
Come on, dude. You can't have it both ways. You can't say like, hey, I'm not going to tell anybody what to do with their money, but then I want to make sure that everyone realizes really you can absolve yourself of any responsibility because Richard and Alex didn't come out sooner.
No, I'm not saying that, but I mean,
come on, man. It's like
it's how this all devolves into these negative kind of things. It's just like
It's not negative. It's just impassioned debate. It's like this is nothing personal.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, right?
It comes down to like all these different stupid conspiracy stuff, like which start going on into other areas. Again, I would say is listen, the four of you. I'm not saying I'm the other side, but let me take the other side. Right, so I'll take the other side. I'm a pDai lover. You guys are pDai haters. It's bad. Stop talking about it. Stop talking about it. Stop bringing attention to it.
Right.
And if you are going to bring attention to it, go find the people that can go do who've been doing the LP. Take the LP down. Sure. I don't know what to tell you, man. You know, it's like
I don't disagree. I don't disagree with any of that.
We've all been involved with enough tokens and stuff that to bring this thing down, you need to get rid of the LP. Stop putting the LP up, right?
Right.
And if somebody wants to put their value up, I guess we live with the fact that they do it. I don't know.
To me, this is more. There are more facets. Like it's a very nuanced conversation because also the people. We got a super chat here from RH Max. He says,
"Oh my God,
everybody love everybody." Thank you for the 2555.
I love everybody on this stream.
Check out RH Max on his YouTube and GoRealDeFi.com. But the thing, because we're saying, why did this go on for so long? The price performance was crazy. Thousands of X's, much better than the core coins have performed if you got in at the very lows. And there have been like 4 insane pumps like this. And that's why so many people are back biased, invested, because almost everybody got in on that train at one point or another. But it's about the ethical thing at the same time, knowing this can fall apart any moment. And boy, did it fall apart.
Well, I think,
right now.
DJ,
so that's why I'm still with the bloody core coins and Hex and Pulsechain and
sure.
That's why I am in Hex, because I went through things like this in the years 2018, 2017. So why are people not seeing that?
Well, DJ, do you know the term pot committed, right? Like in poker, like if you got a lot of chips in the pot, you might play your hand a little different because
not
you can't
a gambling
pull them back
man, but
right. You can't pull your chips back. You're committed to that pot, so you might be playing a little differently than you would otherwise.
Yeah, okay, I get that.
Try to stay in the game and get your money back on a hope and a prayer, right? So the question I have seen revealed around the community is like, what's your price? Like, at what price do you compromise your ethics, right? At what price do you compromise your integrity?
Yes.
At how hard do you have to be wrecked before you don't really care about what's for the greater good? It's that you got to save your own ass. That's the question. I'm ride or die. I don't give a fuck. And my thing with pDai, with any other little degen plays that I've made, as I've always said, I've held true to it. It has been a fraction of my total portfolio, fraction, right? And even though it was a fraction, it went up to a substantial amount of money.
Yes.
But I did not sell. At 3 cents. Okay, so here's the deal. My point is this: lots of other people, and I sold later, and it's like whatever. But here's the deal: the point is this: those paper gains will make you hang in there. If you had millions of dollars on paper and it's all dog shit now, there's something in the back of your mind for most people that are going to make you justify it, right? They're going to make you justify hanging around because, man, if we could just get back, like Sami, he's not talking about $1 anymore. He's talking about getting to a penny, right? And that's the thing. And that's what's frustrating.
They'll move his sell wall up to 2 pennies and talk about $1 again.
Right. And it's like, I don't want to question his ethics or his morality, but it's like, I think I recognize in his face where I was when I used to day trade, and I was stressed and I was over leveraged, and I was, but I wasn't robbing anybody. I was doing it all on dexes, right? Or on KEXs, on centralized exchanges. So, I mean, was I, when I traded, was I taking money from other people? Sure. But that's different than like, fudding or
you were losing money. Come on,
counter trading.
They were taking him on from you.
Rather than this, look, I want to say something here, please. I really want to say that it's more that there's many different ways that the drainer, right, the extractor wins. There's only one way that we win, or the investor wins. It's not when people buy into this whole idea, or they're ambiguous, they're on the fence, or they say the ticker pDai, and they cause all sorts of miscommunications, and they inspire even one new person to put in the extractor wins in all those variables. The one way that we all pull to one side is not the way that some people have a vested interest in our pot committed, like you said. So what is the answer? The answer is something that is impossible. As Crispy points out, everyone wants to do their own thing. The question that I have is, what do new investors into pDai, or people that buy the ticker hoping for mass gains, what do they get out of it in the short term? Little ticks up that the drainer wallet, the drainer entity artificially pumps up to give them hope, because that's another way that the extractor wins. Or people that speculate and make a tiny percentage, a tiny X on that. How do we win is what I want to know now. Yes, Toby, I will yield to your commentary.
Crispy nailed it earlier. Don't talk about it. Just stop talking about it. Stop giving it air. Stop giving it attention. I mean, even if it's like the news of the day, even guys like us need to talk about whatever else is going on, not this, because they're going to be the
last time. I promise.
This will be the last time, but we, what we do, we cover what's going on in the community.
I get it, but
so it's the news right now. So that's
but we perpetuate it. So it's like I'm saying that there is a point.
Dunking on the
it's kind of like Nazi. It's kind of like Nazism, right? Is there a way to be logical with Nazis? Is there a way to negotiate with a real Nazi?
Or do you appease them? No.
Do you appease a real Nazi? I'm not saying that the pDai guys are Nazis. Don't fucking. I'm just using it as a very hyperbolic example.
Yes, of course.
How there are times when bad things happen when good men remain silent, and I am all about being qualifying my words and being very careful and trying to do the middle path, like I've said many times. But there is a time when you need to draw the line and make a stand. And I feel like this is one of those times, because it is done. And here's the deal. There's $300,000 in liquidity is what I heard. Whoopty shit. If people keep putting more in and he just keeps draining it, okay, I get it. I think over time, like Alex said, it's going to go down to, it's just going to trend towards zero over time. And it's just going to be a slow bleed. I would prefer ripping off the Band-Aid and let's get this shit over with. And hopefully people realize that it's garbage. If some miraculous thing happens later, go buy it when it's 99.9% down from here. Get yourself a little bag, throw a few $100 in it, get your bags back for a fraction of what they were. Do that if you really want a speculative play, because the reality is it's trending that way. The bigger harm to the market, I think, beyond Hart's law and beyond the draining of liquidity that's coming out of the chain, is sentiment. Sentiment. Everyone looks at us like we're a bunch of fucking blathering idiots. Everyone's looking at us like, hey, oh my God. And all they hear is exploit on the chain, exploit on the chain. Who the fuck? I've brought millions of dollars into this ecosystem from onboards and my own. And I'm telling you, nobody will fucking touch this thing with a goddamn stick, because they think it's rotten. And it's because they've heard bits and pieces, whether it's Eric Wall with his like reverse psychology or you name it. They hear somebody out there saying exploit on Pulsechain, draining liquidity. They're like running for the fucking hills. And I bet you dollars to fucking donuts that has something to do with Rabby stepping back.
Yeah, for sure.
So the sentiment is the problem. The sentiment is a bigger problem than the fucking money. And that is the only way we're going to get rid of it, is stop engaging with this nonsense. Stop promoting it in any way, shape, or form. Stop equivocating and saying, well, maybe, because there's going to be people just like they questioned the question mark. Give me a fucking break. We're basically talking to flat earthers here. You're not going to be able to use logic to get them to see the other side. You have to draw a line and be like, you know what? This is my stance. This is how I see it. Privately, do what the fuck you want to do. But publicly, as people that are of a certain level of respect in the community, I feel it behooves us to behave in such a way. I'm not, and Crispy, it's like, I'm not telling you or anybody else what to do, but I think that there's a responsibility that comes when we have a following of any size, that we have to hold a standard. And if we are telling them things that could be looked at either, well, this way or that way, they're going to go the way that they're already leaning. You know, if
this conversation could only go negative, right? And I hear you and I understand. That's one of the reasons. Maybe I'll change.
I don't see it as negative. I mean,
maybe I'll start talking about shitcoins instead of hex. But let me just finish this. I mean, even in your dialogue, Toby,
yes,
you gave the example. Hey guys, if you want to wait, go buy pDai later when it's cheaper. My point is these things are not clean. Right? If you keep asking me,
99.99% down.
If you keep asking me questions about pDai, either you want me to just not answer you and tell you what I think. I don't know.
No. I get it. I mean, you got you didn't come on to talk about this stuff.
All right. We're going over time. Listen. May I cut the bullshit?
And no TA.
Crispy, out of respect.
Please shit on my TA. It's very shittable.
All right. Shut the fuck up. Hold on.
Toby.
Order in the court. Listen to me. Listen, Crispy, if I form Toby's soliloquy into a polite request,
oh wow!
And I were to say,
can I clip this? Let me record.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm gonna record you saying
if Crispy, if I were to ask you politely, as a gentleman, would you kindly not ever broadcast any kind of anything about pDai publicly again because it is hurting the ecosystem? Would you comply?
No, I'm not going to comply with that.
Okay, then Toby, have all the shit that you want to say it as forcefully and abrasively as you want, because he's never going to comply with it.
No.
It's a lot of people aren't.
Wait a minute.
No.
You're going to take direction from me, and I'm going to tell you can't talk.
Right. It's freedom of speech.
It's kind of unreasonable.
No. I'm just summing what Toby said in a different way, and the answer is that you won't do it.
I was imploring him to, but ultimately it's his decision, and I respect his choice to do so. That's the thing about freedom of speech. It's not the answer to freedom of speech.
So you're hypocritical. So stop it. Stop fucking talking about it then.
Dude, the answer to freedom of speech is not less speech, it's more speech. So if he chooses to do whatever, or any of them out there choose to do whatever, it is fine. Yep. The answer to it is for us to use our voices to show the other side, and why maybe that's not a good tactic. And that's what I'm talking about. So this is a debate about this.
Toby, my point is, you're preaching to already converted and against
to the choir
in your little preach against those that already have their mindset. Crispy has his mindset. Truly, he's going to do what he wants, and he freedom of speech, all this bullshit. Let's just be smarter. We were very smart when we only had one ticker. That is undeniable. Let's be smart and do things the right way for the good of the ecosystem, because after all, we're all here because of it. We're not just waving for our own little factions anymore. Come back together, be smart, think on the little devil on one shoulder and the little angel on the other. Listen to the angel as best you can and be wise about it. You are thought leaders. All of you are influencers in a way. You have big followings. Just be smart, lead your people to the best possible outcome you can. If you believe it's one thing, great. If you believe it's the other way, fine. There's evidence pointing to one way being a disaster, but if you want to ignore that, go right ahead. Use your own little better angels on your fucking shoulders and do the right thing. Speak intelligently to your people. Your onboards are depending on you. It's not chance that the number is going to go up. We're going to have green candles. It takes a fucking community. So come back together and do what you think is right. Don't preach to each other not to do something. Obviously, I tried it with Crispy. His reaction was negative. Toby's tirade falls on deaf ears. Just fucking manage your own words.
Hey,
That's it.
I'm just putting it out there. If it persuades him in a particular way, great. If it doesn't, that's okay too. I know. I'm talking to Crispy. I'm not talking to you.
But Crispy's position is perfectly fine. He's saying he is not yet ready to be definitive either or, because
thank you, DJ.
There is so much stuff going on, and I can
respect that. I get it, but it's like, I'm just trying to point out the other side of it, which is Richard's great quote, the path of least wreckness. If we really are focused on the path of least wreckness, do you think there are better opportunities for people to put their energy and money into than pDai at this point?
For sure.
And I think we can all agree that yes, there are.
Totally agree on that part too. 100%.
I think it's not a crazy stretch
100%.
to maybe not equivocate when we talk about it and be like, well, it could go that way because there's, and for the last time, there's going to be those people, just like the question mark. There's going to be those people that hint that they're going to, it's what is it? The confirmation bias. They're going to look for anything you say that's positive, that reinforces what they already think, and they're going to latch onto that. 98% of what you say can be negative about it and say, don't do this. Richard said, don't do this. I agree. This is a bad time, all of it. But as soon as you equivocate, there's going to be those people that grab one and then they hang in. And is that the path of least wreckness for them? Time will tell, and we'll see how it plays out. Maybe I've got some apologies to throw around later. Hopefully not to you, Crispy, because none of this was directed at you personally. This was more just like, a debate over philosophy and how we navigate this. So
I think that the extractor is playing the best psychological game in the world. He's in the driver's seat and he knows that people can be influenced, and he's pulling the strings. So if you want to fall into it, great. If you think you're going to profit by doing it, great. Just understand that this is PvP, and this is PvP. And now he holds majority of the cards. That's it.
That's what Peter said in the November-December show when we talked about the intricacies of the pDai narrative, and we all agreed that back then it's the greatest gameplay. Like, you minted yourself some free stuff. Now we actually have confirmation that is totally true, and you get the whole community talking about it and she'll your free mint bags for you. And now we're at the extraction point. So that is wild. And it's very
Can we please race through some charts, some disgusting, terrible
What do you want to see?
And then we can get
one more zero.
Let's look at some positive.
Gaining a zero in the wrong way.
Yes, my big green arrows. God bless them. This is Pulsechain. No, it's not. This is Bitcoin. All right, so Bitcoin, we made our measured move down out of our little parallel channel there. Hit it to the tick, kind of bounced around in that area for a while, working our way back up. We're currently, it looks like, what is this chart, a 3-day? Currently, we are just below, just right at the 55 EMA, just below it. And it looks like we've whipped up twice now in the last 6 days to touch the 21 EMA. So it looks like we're trying to get back into this green box, back into this yellow channel. And slowly, it looks like it's curling its way back up. You could also, if we had time, I know we've gone way long already, but you can see a slope right here. So you could draw a little ascending triangle. Typically, these break up. So it looks to me like the measured move of that would put us well within this triangle, or well within this channel again. And then the big test is, can we get out of the channel and then ultimately out of the bigger white channel, right? The measured move out of the yellow channel, if we can get back to the top of it pretty soon, gets us about to 120. I think everybody would be pretty excited if Bitcoin hit 120. Then I think it would be expected to come back and retest the top of this white line. So probably back around 110, 113, somewhere in that range, maybe wick back in for a minute, bear trap some people, and then we go. So when does this happen? It's not going to happen in April. So the 4-year cycle's broken. Everybody, it's not. It's just shifted. It's a little later, obviously. So crazy shit could happen. It's March, right? Nutty stuff happens in crypto in a matter of days. So, it's not out of the realm of possibility. We could still get a new all-time high in April, which would be 4 years from the first peak in 2021 with Bitcoin. But I'm just saying, odds are it's probably going to hit a little later. So maybe we pop up in April and maybe we come back down and chop around a little bit. And then the real big breakout I would expect later in the summer. Full measured move of the white channel that's been going on since time immemorial gets us to about 200K. So I think everybody would be elated if that happened, because that is the first domino to fall. Bitcoin goes, then Ethereum goes, then altcoins go. Everyone's been crying about Pulsechain for fucking ever. Alt season isn't here yet, bros. It's not different. It's Bitcoin, then Ethereum, then alts run. Full stop. All right, moving along. Going to EHEX. Ain't looking good. EHEX was holding up really, really well for a very, very long time. It's rolled over. There's a case to be made that maybe we're forming a new parallel channel to the downside, so we can kind of play around with that a little bit and see if something pops up. Yep, that looks reasonable right there. So that could be something, right? Not great, but it's because basically once we've broken out of this yellow channel, the next target I have with this full measured move down takes us all the way to the bottom of the bigger white channel, which we've been in all the way since all-time high, way back in September of 21. So that measured move all the way down, God help us, is 3 zeros and a 5.
Oh my God.
Here's what happens.
Cheap Hex.
It's kind of like a blue sky breakout, right? When you have nothing above you, you don't know like where there's supports and resistances. It's a blue sky, sky's the limit, right? With this, what you do once you break out of a pattern like this, you start to look for other areas of support and resistance. There is quite a lot of price action right in this area right here, below where we currently are, all the way down to 001. So it seems to me like there's a lot of resistance in this range, and it could be a situation where we don't get quite that low. We're already at 0014 now, and at the bottom of this new channel that we just identified. So God willing, we find some support right where we're at. If we don't, we dip down. If we get below 001, I don't think it'd be outside the realm of possibility for us to dump all the way back down here and test the bottom of the white channel. I'm in hope that this is where we start finding support and start working our way back up. That's my hope. And then we'll see what happens, right? So from there, we go to pHEX. And this one also is looking pretty cruddy, rolling over, much like EHEX did. We were already in a downward trending channel on this one. So if we bounce back, you see we were in this upward trending channel, and then we just decided, hey, looks like it rolled over. We're in a downward now. We had been in an upward one for a long time on pHEX. We rolled over weeks ago. And we're working our way down, and now we've fallen out of that channel even. So, could we adjust this channel maybe and try to get more candle bodies?
Oh yeah, pull it down, please. Jeez.
Moving goalposts.
Like right there actually makes pretty good sense to me, because we got a body candle touch, candle body, candle body, candle body, candle body, candle body. That makes a little more sense to me, but even with that adjustment, it's like it's still breaking down. So, can we pull back up 006, hopefully get back in that channel and start to curl back up? That would be my hope. If we make the full measured move where we broke this yellow channel, then we're looking at all-time lows for pHEX. You're looking at 002, 0026. Hopefully we don't make that full measured move down. Ironically, or just coincidentally, the measured move of the white channel takes us to that same point. So, confluences kind of matter sometimes. So, if sentiment remains bad, less money coming in than going out, that's the direction we're headed. I'm in hope that we can stop the bleeding somehow and start curling back up. And remember, there's low liquidity across the board in Pulsechain. So these moves to the downside are as bad as they are because of that. And you have to remember that it doesn't take that much capital to move things up in a very rapid fashion, also because of that same low liquidity. So, just take some believers, as Sami would say. Moving along to Pulsechain. Pulsechain is pretty much exactly where I told you this is going. We had that big wick down last week, and I told people we're probably going to retest that, because it's kind of like dipping your toe in the water. When you see a big wick up or down, it's an indication of where you may go. And then often what happens is you'll confirm that level. So we went back down and confirmed that level and went lower still. Did make a new all-time low, which I hate to say. So that puts us 20%, 23% below the previous all-time low. So it's kind of funny. Like, it's like when you click all-time low, it should just say what it is if we're at it. Right? But it's still referencing the previous all-time low, I guess, in GoPulse. So which is nice, because then you can know how fucking bad it is. So now we drew this big channel, this big orange parallel channel, and then we made a triangle out of it. So we did end up on the bottom of this channel, wick through it, and we're right at the bottom of it now. So from my lips to God's ears, hopefully we can find some support here. and either start,
Or
working our
we
way
can
sideways
draw a
and down.
measured move on
I'm fine.
on this channel.
You want to see the measured move down, Peter? All right, you asked for it, bro. The measured move down is 5 zeros, 3 6.
Gaining a 0.
Buying opportunity.
Gaining a 0. So that's pretty gnarly. I, on the other hand, being the eternal optimist that I am, I'm hoping we find support here. Maybe we walk our way down this line until things resolve later in the spring or early summer, and then we start to move up. I'd be fine with that. As long as we hold that line. We've only got a wick through it, and then we're right on it now. This is a weekly candle I'm looking at. If we look at the 3-day, we actually had a wick to touch it, a wick through it, and then we're in a current 3-day candle right on it. So if we can get a daily close or a 3-day close, what are our dailies looking like? Yeah, the daily candle's right on it right now. So if we can close here and not close below, I would feel pretty confident that we're going to either chop sideways and then start curling up. And I'd feel less concerned that we're going to just roll to the downside. And typically, we get these weird little intermittent pops and everyone celebrates. And it's like, oh, hey, Pulsechain, and Richard tweets. And it's like, everything's up 25%. So, it could be, one of those things where it just comes out of nowhere. You're not expecting it. And that kind of gets us off the floor. We'll see. Pulsex. Pulsex is actually looking pretty good. It's been one of the stronger charts for a long time now. We had this orange parallel channel going down. DJ pointed out that there might be a triangle there, so we laid in this yellow line that made a nice triangle. We had this white channel that we were playing with, kind of working its way up, and it rolled over. So, the measured move of the white channel down takes us below the orange channel, which is not great. So I would be, I don't know, with this pattern situation, I'd be looking more at the triangle because we've been honoring it, right? So you can see here, and this is a daily. So if we get closer to the bottom,
it should
of that,
break down right now.
Yeah, it's like we wicked down, but it's not broken it. We're just below it, just barely. So if we can get back in that triangle and start working our way back up, that'd be very good. If not, then you're going to look at a horizontal support that we had at quadruple 013, basically, and that also would be the bottom of the orange channel. So, that'd be a major move down, though. I mean, people are already calling what's going on now the Black Swan event. This would be another 45% dump on Pulsex, for example. So hold on to your hats. The dry powder I have, I'm using very sparingly. But, if this found support and started to curl up, I'd be tempted to add to my Pulsex bags, not financial advice. Ink, the clown of the family, right? The baby boy, everybody's favorite. We said we were trying to hold 143. We broke through that, and we're currently below that at 124. Full measured move down takes us to new all-time lows, down around 36 cents. So Briz, back up the truck. You can start buying more. I know you bought some at 43 cents. So did I. But it looks like it could be heading back down there. If everything goes to hell in a handbasket, what kind of drop is that from where we are now down to that measured move? You're looking at 70% drawdown. I don't see that happening. The ink has held up very, very well comparative to the other tokens, the core tokens. So I'm hoping we can find some support in here. Same situation I was talking about before with the blue sky breakout. When you start falling out of a pattern, you start looking for other areas of support and resistance. $1 psychological support. So, we could find some support there if we continue to fall. We're currently at a support level here. We had a lot of wicks touching this same exact zone at 123, 124 cents back here in November and in September. So, this could find some support here from previous price action. If we break below $1, the next support I'd see here is where these bottoms were, and some tops and bottoms both right here at about 90 cents. And then, grasping at straws here when you're just looking for like where else could it pivot, 65 cents. Another stop at about 44 cents, and then the all-time low, which I believe was 41 cents. So, hopefully we can curl our way back up. There might be a big fast wick down to 1 cent if there's other bad news or, some big movements in the other RH core coins. Ideally, we get back into that channel, get back above 190, and I think we could all breathe a little easier. Wish I had better news for you, but the charts are the charts. I'm not saying that that's exactly what's going to happen to the downside. I'm just warning you that that's what could happen if we continue down, and those are areas of support to look for. In my opinion, buying opportunities. we haven't missed the cycle, in my opinion. I think it's a matter of just riding out yet another type of vampire attack. Papa and I talked about this the other night. If any of you remember the movie Interview with a Vampire, and the famous scene at the theater where everyone's watching the play and they bring the girl up on stage and she thinks she's just part of the play, and then she gets scared because she realizes, oh my God, these are really vampires and they're going to eat me, and they just all swarm on her. We used to see them coming one at a time. Jack Levin, Peter Gurr, you name it. Like, here's a vampire attack. Everyone focuses on that. Here's a vampire. We've had a fuck ton. Now it's just a swarm, right? And this is just another swarm of that, in my opinion, as far as the cohesiveness of the community. Is it fun to laugh at and like get in the prayer spaces and stuff? I listen to some of those things. Some of it is kind of funny, and it's kind of like gallows humor. I get it, but any energy you're putting into that, you're not putting into educating people or onboarding. I know it's hard. Trust me, very fucking hard with how things are currently. But at the very least, you could be educating people. Maybe they're not ready to invest yet, but at least they could get up to speed, know how to use a Trezor, know how to get across a bridge, learn how to do this stuff. And I've done that with a few people, but they're not pulling the trigger yet. So I think that might be happening broadly. So continue that.
Speaking of onboarding, can I share with you my new improved onboarding script? Because it worked the other day when I was onboarding, truly onboarding. I'll share with you the trick. Are you ready?
Please.
So ready.
Okay, so I'll play both sides. Here we go. So this concludes what blockchain is, and we've covered Bitcoin and Ethereum. And what's the matter? I'm just thinking about my coins and my community. Oh, there. It's okay. It's okay. What community is it? It's a Mexican and Pulsican community. Oh, well, I'm interested. Tell me about that. No, you don't want to. No, you would. No. Really, I'm really interested. Okay. It's this. Well, I'll put some money in. Really? I could really use $10,000 right now. Oh, okay. I'll do it for you. You've been so kind. Thank you. End scene.
Wow. And that worked.
It worked. $10,000 injected right into the core coins.
I've got, if you got like not even a minute, I can give us a little hopium. The ETH chart, believe it or not.
Has two golden crosses.
Okay. So check this
two death crosses.
Yeah, that's okay. We got some death crosses to work through, but
fractal.
It's fractal time. Tell me what. So we threw the fractal on here last time, and if you remember, it was starting to curl up, and I'm like, yeah, it's still following the fractal. This is a 3-day. So it's still following the fractal.
I'm getting actual letters from our audience from last week's show saying if I hear the word fractal one more time.
Fracture my skull. Is
actual letters.
I'm never going to another meetup. But yeah, I mean, it's like if we follow the fractal, you're looking at April back into the channel, maybe a little bear trap back down. And by May, we're back up to 4K on Ethereum. I think everybody would be elated if we were at 4K in May on Ethereum. So we'll see how it's going. It's at 2K right now. That's a 2X, man.
And the OA doesn't sell.
The OA hangs on for bigger gains, right?
I can make it to 5. Come on.
Your round trip's it. I don't know. But just publicly, I got to say, I love Crispy. I have the utmost respect for him. I'm sorry if it seemed like I was coming at him personally in any way, shape, or form. It was not that. It was more just the tactics that I see of many people, and I thought it was a good point to make a stand on and say, hey, here's my counterpoint to the way that I also do things. I also equivocate. I also middle path stuff, but I feel like there's times to draw a line. I feel like this is one of those. I'd rather apologize later than be wrong now.
Well, we're also doing a simulcast on Chrispyman's channel, so
Oh shit!
Oh shit!
Much
Our
respect,
audience.
much respect and love for Chrispyman.
Absolutely,
always.
yeah.
Of course,
Always.
which got me confused at first because there were a few people in the chat here which I know have me blocked on the X, and that's why I thought, how did they
how are
come
they
in here?
they
But
get-
of course, through your people.
I did
so-
ask in advance.
Of course, and it's all good. We really appreciate that. One thing, there's actually two things, Crispy, I wanted to ask you, but now at the end of the
Let's
show.
not talk about religion or abortion, please.
Abortion was one.
Let's
Abortion was one. Meme coins was another. No, you've been at the Vegas conference, which it was only 2 weeks ago, but it feels like eternity now after everything that came up with pDai and all that crap in the community afterwards. How did you experience in terms of sense of community? It wasn't your first meetup on that scale. Was it similar in the past? Was there anything that struck you differently or better maybe compared to the past in terms of sentiment and the people engaging with each other?
Yeah. pDai was not a topic there.
Not yet, no.
For the most part, right? And from a get-together point of view, I've been to a lot of Hexican get-togethers, right? So it was very good. It was pretty solid, and it was well run, very well run as far as like events go.
Yeah.
So it was pretty tight that way. There's going to be some growing pains with that over time. It'll go, but I think I got to meet a lot more people at this one that I haven't met personally before.
Okay. So different crowd, kind of. But
Yeah,
OGs
well, yeah,
who've
it was-
been with it for a long time and now finally came to a meetup, or new people?
I think it was pretty solid that everybody had been involved for a while, but they were, if it was a conference, it was the Builder Conference.
Okay.
Because the people, I can go through and talk about it, but Pi was there. These are things that people may not like to hear about, but Pi was there, which is the guys from Atlanta that have they have a protocol for staking Pulse. The actuator guys were there. Up and Up X, Validator X was represented. 9-inch, Solid Index. There were a lot of builders, a lot of cool stuff coming, and a lot of very good insights.
I think Liquid Loans was a sponsor too. I think.
Liquid Loans had a table there, and they had some folks come out and talk.
Okay.
They're doing videos and whatnot. So it was.
I heard their table was made of solid gold.
It may have. I don't know.
Well, Liquid Loans has stable coins that is actually working. It's just that nobody's using, and it has very tiny liquidity. I tried to put them on the spot a few times now, but they wouldn't answer to it. Like, they always understand it as people complaining they're not providing liquidity towards the loan token, and their response is they don't want people to just outright dump it, which I get, but that has nothing to do with propping up the stable coin. We had this situation with the Rabi, and immediately Time Money, KG jumps on that as an opportunity to of course market his product. And I would like to see the same from Liquid Loans now that pDai is no longer a thing. Hey, we got a stable coin over here, but that's not really what seems to be their strategy. But I still think it's a good thing that they're supporting meetups and conferences, at least that. So
Your sack money well spent.
yeah. Oh boy. I done sacked for that one. That's for sure. And the other question I had was what's going on at hexfire.io, because one thing that came out of these OA stakes now that we're seeing en masse, 95% of all hex in existence is still staked, is that the T-share rate is going upwards like on steroids, right? Am I right in that? And what are your thoughts on that?
No, you're wrong about that.
Thanks for crushing my setup.
And this is how we run it.
No, it's pretty common though, DJ. Right? Everybody assumes that because we have these big stakes, that they are the cause of higher T-shirt rates. But it is not true.
So what is it?
the detail behind that is this: is we've had 5 years of stakes that have been earning 40, 50% APR. Right. So just let's stay high level. We don't have to do deep math. So when you do the new share rate calculation, it wants to make sure that you can't get the same amount of rewards if you had the same level of rewards going forward.
Yes.
And so it increases the T-shirt rate. Right. The old stakes are increasing. And I got to see if I can do this on the like that. Anyways, the
up and to the right.
There's now a gap, right? Because the T-share rate is going up at a rate that's higher than people can possibly earn hex and keep up with it. But the rate of change for T-shirts is actually going down. For the count, and I can show you right on the screen if you want me to show you.
Yes, please, if you have something there, because all I'm seeing in my noob brain is that these are big jumps, and they only happen in the last couple of weeks.
Well, hey, Crispy, won't they be more pronounced if and when the OA completes its first mega stake?
Yeah, 7, 8 years.
Yeah. Well, no. Isn't it every 2 years?
As we can see here, it's every 2 years. It's pretty, the 40% it had that it's staked out for a 10-year staking ladder with equal amounts every 2 years that you see here on the screen.
Yeah, but guys, remember, I didn't calculate the exact stake where it'll flop over, but if you've been staked for 15 years, right, or even 10 years, right, and you earned all that reward up front, you're already set. You're going to bring that rate up, right? So the old stakes to do that, the OA stakes are making 1.5 hex per T-shirt per day, so it's not going to drive it up. And I'll just show you the calculations real quick if you want. I have my chart there if you want to pop it up on the screen. I did share it.
Got a super chat from Duke of Booze. Shout out.
The Booze.
Wow.
Papa B, can you read that out?
It says,
the last few
thanks,
words.
Crispy, for bringing some class to the show. Whereas there was no class before, you single-handedly have brought class back to this show.
That's right.
No.
A show bereft of class.
All right. So, hey, DJ, I know you've watched some of my
I do.
videos, so we can go
I'm
back.
replay gang because you stream at ungodly hours sometimes.
Yeah, I know. But if we look at this chart here, and if you just think back to the previous times that I've streamed, before the OA made the big changes, we were targeting about 49,000 hex per T-shirt at the end of this year. And now it's at 45,000. And that is a direct result. So it's going to be going up, right? But it's not going to go up as fast. And that is a direct result of the staking.
Okay.
Right. So someday will it affect it? Yes. Somebody can do the math on that. I don't have that ready. But I mean, eventually the OA will mint enough hex that becomes part of the daily payout, and enough T-shares will go away that it may make some sort of a big difference in the future, but I don't have that knowledge of. And then year over year, what I had been seeing is about 10,000 hex per T-share increases per year. And now it's about 5,000. Now maybe it'll change. I don't know. We'll watch and see.
Oh, we'll watch it. We'll be here. We'll be watching it unfold. But it's fair to say still that hex is becoming scarcer. A lot more scarcer. It's just the price now that has to catch up.
Yeah, I think so.
The price has to do I've seen $1.50. I'm seeing that advertised. So that would be nice. And then that even with the 1.5 to 2 hex per T-shirt payout, that's still life-changing money again. At these 2-0 numbers where we are now, it's really not. But because that is also an issue with the onboarding. Like, how do you market hex? What's your solution to that? What is the elevator pitch? We had one from Papa B earlier. What's yours?
Yeah. So let me stay positive, not negative on it. I think hex staking is fine. You can do hex staking and go out 15 years and have a very nice average APR. In a situation where you're exposed to the upside many potential X's, right? Because it's crypto.
Yes.
Right. So you have that all that there. It can be really hard to sell people on 3%.
Yeah, because this you can't promise really. That's the
right.
thing.
I mean, it's like it's going to be very hard. So I think the bar went up in terms of believers in Hex. Like you got to believe. You have to believe, like really believe, to continue adding stakes. And
Yes.
I've talked to a lot of people who you'd be surprised, right? They're just not even staking that, and they're long term. Hexicans. They're not adding, and you can see that on the chart. So I think it's kind of piss poor right now. Now people say that if we see the prices go up, then there'll be more staking. I'm not too sure that's going to be the case. In any case, I have hopium dreams, maybe that sound like other stuff that go on, right? But I believe that the people who have their ladders already set, are going to benefit wildly from this whole thing.
It's maintaining
crazy
the people.
Yeah. And yes, there's the in-between people who just got started. They're probably feeling a little screwed. Right?
But for them, it's also fair to say that the situation can totally change.
It can.
Maybe at the halfway mark, because the OA, let's say, if they only do 50% of the OA stakes. And I know we shouldn't say this, as we worked out on the last time you were on the show, that it's possible though that they get the principal back. All the interest is penalties, but since the OA is the OA itself, it at least gets half of the principals back. So because it's the OA, and that's why even an ES after the halfway mark for the OA is not a stupid move. So and then
hey, listen,
the payout
that could happen, but
is better again for everybody.
We don't know it, right? I
If
mean,
that was to happen.
we should apply the same rules, right? We don't know what's going to happen.
We
don't
know. We just don't. We know nothing.
No, I know nothing.
That's how we end the show.
I know nothing.
We know nothing.
It's quite possible because I mean, there's some things that could happen for sure, right? There's a whole conspiracy theory that Richard controls the OA and that the OA is going to emergency end stake and give all the rewards, right? I've heard that more than one time, and that's the predominant reason I've heard people say they want to stake. But do I know that? I mean, what happens in 2 years, and for whatever reason he decides to restake?
And also, people like to know when meme coin, Chrispyman. Yeah. So we see
when we pump.
We see these images of you floating about, which I love.
There's so many of them. I haven't even sent. I haven't sent you the one with the feet.
So
I don't know if I should announce that I'm going to launch an NFT website with various NFTs. Don't worry, it'll be a million pulse per, right? So
all right,
that's a joke. That's kind of a joke, but hey, you know what? If I'm already living there, I might as well go do it. Right?
You might as well. Exactly. I'm sure people wouldn't hate on it. So
I'm sure they would.
You will find out.
Meme NFTs.
And honestly, Crispy, I think that you handled that in such a classy way, because initially I was angry because like the first few I saw were kind of mean spirited.
Yeah, we're mean.
And I'm like, what the fuck? And it's like, so I made my comments, and then there was kind of this pivot, and it's like, and that's the way you do it. I think that's how anybody. It's a great advice on how to survive the internet, right? It's like if you can just roll with the punches and treat all of it like a joke, you're not going to get upset as much about really any of it, right? And it's like, and you can stay saner and less emotionally reactive. So I think that you handled it like a fucking
wait till you see my Toby in the shower washing his balls NFT. Then we'll see if you practice what you preach.
At this age, I just like slosh them around in the bottom of the tub. And
we had the DJ geriatric series already, so it's all part of it.
We had to take it down a notch. You classed it up too much.
And with that, where can we find you, Chrispyman?
Yes,
not here again.
Not on this show.
Not with me, anyhow.
At HexFire.io.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Great information there.
And check out the website hexfire.io. You can also sign up for a membership if you need the more in-depth chart knowledge. which is always helpful to some. And the links are down in the description. Thanks for coming on, everybody. This has been episode 110. It's crazy how time flies. And for the European crowd, just a heads up, next week we're back an hour because Europe has finally caught up with the Americans on the daylight savings time. So next week for you guys, nothing changes, but for the Europeans, we will be on an hour later. Ain't that right, Papa B?
Unfortunately, yes.
And that's an outro. Thanks everybody for watching, for tuning in. Please follow up. Our follower numbers on YouTube are trash. Please, guys, if you're not yet part of the What the Hex crew, please hit that follow button and smash the likes. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you on the next one. Outro.